Greetings and welcome to a long video about every single legendary card in Hearthstone. We have I just counted, we have 400 plus legendaries and most of them are pretty bad. Yesterday I made this video about how to get started in Wild. And in there I mentioned that I would like to talk about every single legendary card so you can see for yourself where is it useful, should you keep that, should you disenchant it, and the answer for 4 or 5 cards is usually disenchant that because they're pretty bad. Unless you play for fun. Keep in mind the entire video is going to be about where do you see a card being played. If you just play for fun and want to play your own decks, obviously, just build your own decks, then the video doesn't really help you. But if you would like to maximize your dust and see if the cards that you think might be good in the future or might be good in certain decks and you're unsure about can actually see play somewhere, well, this might help you. At the very end, at this timestamp exactly, there's going to be something like a summary in which I show you the cards that I personally would keep for each and every single class. We're going to skip Demon Hunters, they have 4 legendaries, so just keep them. And yeah, feel free to just skip to that point and get your answers, I guess. It's also in the description down below, so you can just read for yourself which cards you should keep. In case you would like to hear my thoughts behind it or for a specific card, here are all the timestamps for the 9 different classes. My name is Solem. You can subscribe down for free. Half of you are not subbed, just saying. Anyways, let's just start. Recently, I spent too much money on this game and I crafted every single card I was missing. So when we go through the collection manager, you're going to notice I actually have every card. I don't recommend that. That's a giant waste of money, but you can play cards for fun if you have Floop's Gloop. I assume that in the beginning I will talk very detailed about things and then go less and less and just be like the card is bad. So for Floop's Gloop, you can play the card Enchanted Druid because if you play Poisoned Seeds and Starfall, you basically get all the mana back that you used to cast those spells. But the card itself is not needed for anything. You can safely disenchant this. Jungle Giants, a giant meme even though Barnabas is pretty fun to play. Untapped Potential, also not needed. While it might have seen play in Standard, in Wild you don't play Choose One Druid or have the effects of Jade Idol combined. All you do is you draw your entire deck, you don't need the quest. Steladris saw play in Jade Druid as well as Floop's Gloop as mentioned, but Steladris himself is not needed for anything. He could give you value, but you play Jade Druid to play Jade Idol over and over. You don't need Keeper Steladris, so he's more he exists, but he's not needed. So pretty much the entire first row, you could disenchant it and you would not miss those cards. If you ever want to play Hadronox Druid, Mischiefin, however you pronounce that, would help, but it's more like an addition to the deck. If you play Hadronox anyways and you have a giant wall of taunt, it doesn't matter if you have one more giant taunt minion up there or not, right? If you want to play Hadronox Druid, keep the card. Loti, only if you feel like you want to keep the quest. Besides that, Loti has no real purpose. Loti is more too slow for Wild. Vandrel, fairly useless considering that you don't even play Untapped Potential, which is Vandrel, but better, right? If you want to play something like a fun version of Druid in which you play either card twice like Hadronox, or you play Double Nazard, you play Reno for example, or you even play York twice, Floop is great for that. Keep in mind though, in the usual case if you play Druid, you play Oak and Summons into Vargheth into something like a 3/8 or 3/9 taunt minion like Hecklebot or Zoldrak. If you play Floop in your deck, you can't play Oak and Summons, you can't play Vargheth, which is fairly good against most aggressive decks. So Floop is only for value in slow decks. You want to play Reno Druid, you want to play Hadronox, maybe Malygos, Floop helps. Trigger the World Tree, you can use it for exactly, I think, 2 combos. You can play this with Malygos, which I don't think anybody does, and you can play this in Infinite Mill Druid, which is really just a meme deck, in which you use Elise to copy your Twig over and over. I would disenchant that. Wow, the best card that is golden, Dustfallen Aviana. Disenchanted, guaranteed, 100%. Elise, if you play Reno Druid or the Infinite Mill common that I just mentioned, which is really just a fun deck, you can play Elise. I would recommend if you play Reno Druid, you want to play Elise, but then Reno Druid is more like a tier 3, tier 4 deck. Something fun you can play that is also viable by playing Druid in a different style. I would keep Elise though. Ixalit, disenchanted. If you want to copy stuff, it's a lot easier to copy stuff. You can play Sathrova, you can play Gloop Sprinkler, you can play Faceless, you don't need Ixalit. Gonk. Obviously, if you want to play Gonk OTK Druid, but you don't see this. The last time I encountered that was, I think, when I played against Ruffle, 5-6 months ago. Gonk is dust, but he is Gonk. Maybe you want to up Gonk the video. Could be. Goro the Might Tree. In case you like trees, you like tree and you like the entire archetype, keep that mighty tree. In case you like to win games, I'll play Token Druid or anything else in the entire world, disenchant Goro. Probably one of the best, if not the best, legendary for Druid overall. You don't die against aggressive decks, the hero power becomes actually useful, and you just gain another turn. Great card, always keep that, never disenchant. Maloran, what about Mel Dust? That was not funny. Lucent Bark. If you play the Hadronox Druid list, even then you don't play Lucent Bark. This is more like a niche archetype in which you would like to heal your face over and over. which is not good. That's more like dust. Splintergraft. Technically a good card because you get a copy of something. It's basically your Youthful Brewmaster or your Zola for 8 mana. I've never encountered this card, not a single time. Pretty much dust. In case you want to keep the Druid quest and have the choose one effect combines, you keep Scenarios. But only if you want to keep untapped potential. Besides that, you don't see Scenarios. He doesn't do anything. Hadronox. Wow, a Spooder in golden. If you want to play a Giant Wall of Taunt and you play really defensive Druid list, you keep Hadronox. If that is your playstyle, keep it. If that is not your playstyle, it's useless. Besides the very deck that it's named after, you don't see this card. Ever. Ysera. A great card you can add to Jade Druid. Not needed. You can play Jade Druid just by playing Jade Idols. That's the whole point of the deck. I mean, it's named after that. But Ysera makes it a lot better against control decks. Yzeal is basically your Aviana, but for spells. And I have to say, if you just play Aviana Kun, it's probably better than playing Yzeal. But you don't need Yzeal. I would still keep it though. Aviana and Kun, obviously, if you like to play combos and Druid, you keep those two guys. You play Aviana with an Emperor tick, or you play Aviana into Innovate, and then you drop Kun, then you have 10 mana, you play Malagos, you play Torquaggle, you play Starliner, any combo and Druid. If that is your playstyle, keep those two. If not, fairly useless. Like, Aviana has no use outside of that. If you want to keep Kun though, then you also put that into a deck where you play untapped potential like Scenarios. Lastly, we have Dust. Usually you have to ask yourself, when you play the legendary card or whatever minion, what happens? And if you play Scenarios, Tarantis, nothing happens. That's bad. If you pay 10 mana, nothing happens. That's, Hunter. Marsh Queen, just a meme. Really, nothing, just a meme. Unseal the Vault, just a meme. Nothing but a meme as well. Dreadscale, I think there was one Reno Hunter list that ran it, but yeah, no, not really. Gotta be honest, it's pretty bad. Zigzor, actually useful card if you like to play a Reno Hunter or a Big Beast Hunter. This is really useful, and you can draw that by playing the Griffin, the 4/1. Dragonbane, you play Even Hunter, you play Smog Hunter, great card. Master Shaw also sees playing Even and Egg Hunter. If you like Hunter itself, always keep Straw. Putricide, technically viable in Even Hunter, not needed though. Halazi is, if you play this quest Marsh Queen for the memes, you also keep Halazi, but usually Halazi is more like, it exists, you don't really play that in Wild. You just don't. But if you play one of those two quests for fun, keep Halazi. Knuckles, if you want to play Knuckles or TK, like Ruffle did, you can play that. Besides that, it's Dust. That is 100% Dust, and that is great value for Reno Hunter. And you can also see playing Even. Not really an Even because Even is more aggressive, but for Reno this card is great. That is pure Dust, completely useless. Uranus, debatable. If you play Dragon Hunter or an Even Hunter, this is fairly useful. I would definitely keep it. Aussie is like 2 tiny arms there. Good card overall. Complete Dust, fairly useless. This is debatable. People can say you can play this in Mech Hunter, and I would answer, when was the last time you saw Mech Hunter? 5 months ago? I encountered this like twice. It's a 7 mana card in Wild that is usually bad. Like, imagine your opponent plays Godfrey and clears the entire board, however big it is, and you play Goblin Bombs. Basically, it deals 8 damage. If you trigger the bombs, just disenchant that. Reno Hunter. Dino Tamer Bran, great card. It's like your Inkmaster Solia, that's a bad comparison. It's like your Raza, kinda, or Reno Hunter. Just keep it. Plagues, Boom, Dust. Gazrilla, that's Dust. Rock Dala. If you're one of 8 people in this world who play Spell Hunter, you can keep that, but nobody plays Spell Hunter, so disenchant that. That's also Dust. Unless you play Malagos Hunter, this is also Dust, even though I like the flavor a lot. This card can see play in Big Beast Hunter, but only if you really play Giant Beast like Undasta and Charged Devil Saw, maybe Ultra Saw. Besides that, very slow deck. Beastmaster Lerox is kinda Dust. I would still keep him though. Petrina, same reason. You play Big Beast, you want to summon them. King Crush, one of the big beasts you want to summon. Zoljin, fine for Even Hunter, alright in Reno Hunter. Overall just value. Basically all the hero cards or the Death Knight cards, you can generally keep them. Most of them. Not all of them, most of them. And lastly, Emerus, that is Dust. Unless you play for memes. But besides that, the card is Dust. Mage. Oh, look at this. We actually keep multiple cards here. First off, Evocation. Great card if you play Quest Mage. Quest Mage. Great deck. It got nerfed. Instead of having 6 spells that didn't start in the deck, now have to cast 8, which is as easy as it was before. Deck is still tier 1. Keep those 2 cards. That is a meme, and if you just play Reno, the 10 mana guy, it's a better meme than this. This is too much effort. Arugel sees no play, but he looks cool and golden. Fairly useless. Solarian is great, and Solarian Prime is even better. 100% keep this card. Prime cards are fairly good. Khadgar is pretty useless. You could say you can play a big Spell Mage, but even then, I would not play Khadgar. But if you try to make your own summon mage work, I guess, you could keep... I would disenchant them. Pyros, I would disenchant that. Jinvala. I thought this card would be good if you play Quest Mage and then you have, you have your quest, you have a bunch of 1-mana spells because of evocation, you drop Jinvala, and then you fill your board with 5/5s. Yeah, that doesn't happen. If you play Tempo Mage instead of Secret Mage, I guess, and have multiple spells, maybe Shinvala is useful, but so far it's mediocre at best. Luna, great card. You can play Pocket Galaxy, and then every giant minion you have costs 1 mana. You can just top deck a card, you can just play a minion. Basically outcast, but only for the right part of your hand. Great legendary, keep that. Same with Malygos. Even though it only sees play in, I guess, Reno Mage, and Big Spell Mage if anybody plays that. Great, great legendary. Alunath, you play Secret Mage, which is fairly cheap, and this is the only legendary in there. You play that card. Same with Reno. You want to play any Reno Mage, which has Reno, and another Reno. This is your third Reno. Great card, great card, great card. Basically, this page is good. Toki, though. I've never played this card. It should tell you that, yeah, disenchant that. Tony. If you like the idea of Exodia Mage, you like the idea of having an OTK Mage and playing something nostalgic from years and years ago, keep Tony. If you actually want to win and rank up, then you might want to disenchant Tony. Flame Leviathan. It's dust. It's really dust. Inkmaster Solia. It's dust. Reason is if you play Dragoncaster, the 6-mana 4/4, that is a rare that you can play twice, it has the same effect. And you only have to have a dragon in your hand instead of a deck without duplicates. Solia is so bad. This should be a 5-mana card, like a 5-mana 5/5. This is so bad. If you like the idea of Elemental or Odd Mage, then I guess you can keep Pyrus as well as Janalai. But then you have to play Odd Mage, and do you play Odd Mage? If you play Odd Mage, this is good. If you don't, that's bad. If you play Reno Mage, this is fantastic. If you play any Mage, this is fantastic. If you play Aggressive, though, this is fairly useless. If you play big stuff in Reno, keep this card guaranteed. Disenchant this card no matter what. Paxstop Malacross. You play for value, period. You play this card in Reno Mage. Like, imagine you have Reno in your opening hand, and then you drop Malacross and get another one. That's value. Barely greedy, though. And in an aggressive meta with Demon Hunter and Pirate Warrior, if you play an 8-mana 5/5 that just gives you cards, it doesn't do much. I would keep him if you like to play really, really value-oriented, but so far he's kinda eh. One of my favorite legendaries. Looks great in golden. Ronan. Disenchant him. Syndragosa. Disenchant that. You can play this in... If you play Frosted Chainer and this card on turn 10, maybe that's no. Alana. Like, the only reason I would keep some of those cards is if you really play Frosted Chainer and like Elemental or Big Spell Mage, and then you want to have all your Elementals with lifesteal. Then all of those cards make sense, like Alana and other stuff. But I don't see a single person playing Big Spell Mage. Like, I've not seen a single person this year. Not a single person. So I don't want to be like, hey, you can keep this because it has potential. That's just saying, hey, keep this, it's useless. So I would just disenchant it. Like, you will not miss the Big Spell Mage. If you have not played it until now, you probably won't play it in the next month. Jaina. Technically a lot of value, and I would definitely keep it because the effect makes it so you pretty much don't die. In most cases. Reno's just so much better. Like, just having the effect of the board is gone, and then you have random stuff. Even though it's a random, it's a lot better. A lot better than Jaina. I would still keep it, though. Caligos, 100% keep that. Definitely keep that. Paladin. Making mummies, card sucks. Just saying it how it is. Unless you play insanely greedy, and you want to play reborn minions, and maybe you shuffle Immortal Prelate into your deck, which nobody plays, then you keep this. Galvadon, our favorite Kaleidosaur. The only reason I would keep Quest is if you play insanely greedy, if you like pure Libram double Quest memes, or if you want to play, I guess, OTK Paladin, because then you get coins with Unlicensed Apothecary. Not Apothecary, Unlicensed Adventurer. The guy who gives you a coin if you have a quest. Then you can play a quest, I guess, for synergy. You play a slow Paladin deck, like an OTK version with Anyfin or with your Death Knight. Maybe you just want to control the board. Kango is really helpful. You like Murgle, you want to go in, you want to play aggressive using Murlocs. Murgle is your best friend there. Finley of the Sands, if you like the idea of Reno Paladin, and then you want to have a different hero power in the first, I don't know how many turns. Finley is good, but only if you play Reno Paladin, and then that doesn't exist, really. Risa, it's dust. It's definitely dust. I would disenchant that. Same with Taretha. Technically, you have infinite value. Every single dragon has +3/+3. Wow, Dragon Paladin. That sounds epic. That sounds like a good deck, and it sucks, so you should disenchant that. Thekel. Actually useful. You can play Thekel into Molten Giants. You can play this in, I guess, Dual Paladin. Any big version of Paladin. This and Reno. Thekel is a great guy. Technically, it's a great defensive card. It heals you, it has lifesteal and taunt and all that jazz. Well, I've never encountered this card in Wild. You can disenchant that. Nosdormu, you like to play Dual Paladin and have 10 mana crystals? Time is mana for you. But besides that, you can disenchant that. Glass Knight, you can disenchant that. Bolvar, Prince Liam, you can disenchant that. All those cards are not good, or you would have encountered them often. Sunkeeper Tarim though, if you like the idea of even Paladin, or you want to just flood the board and play your own version of like Tempo Paladin, this is great. I would 100% keep this. But I would disenchant Valania. If you play a hand buff Paladin, you always play max, and this is 6 mana for 4 attack, that's doesn't do much. Edric, pretty useless. Kangors, you could play this in Mag hand buff Paladin as just mentioned, but debatable. It makes the deck not better, not worse. It's your choice. You can play this in Mag hand buff, you don't need to. Liadrin and Lunessa. If you like the idea of pure or Libram Paladin, keep those 2 cards. If you don't like the idea of those 2 specific decks, you can disenchant both. Rag Lightlord. I was playing a dual Paladin yesterday, and I didn't even put this card in there, so the card is kinda great flavor. Really great flavor, and we have this Felfire Festival soonish, and we have like Felfire Ragnaros. We have 3 of them. That's pretty epic, and yeah, nobody plays that. Tyrion. You play him if you play Zephrys and discover him on turn 10. You don't play Tyrion normally. I guess it's an alright card, but you just don't play him. I don't know, you just don't. You like the idea of OTK Paladin, you play Uther. You don't like the idea of OTK Paladin, you disenchant Uther. Nozari, that's Dust. Shavala, dual Paladin, any control Paladin, maybe even anything, because your spells cost 10 mana. Shavala is great. You can also play Holy Wrath and just aim face for that. I would keep Shavala. Nozari though is... Nozari's dust. If you get it randomly from Alexstrasza, great, but you don't. Now we go to the worst class in Hearthstone, Priest. You only play Activate the Obelisk if you play Big Priest. And even in Big Priest, you should not play this card. This is just you waste 1 card in your opening hand. I would disenchant this. I thought this would be broken when I made my own card review like a year ago. This card sucks. Awaken the Makers. If you like to play something like a Talk Waggle Priest or a Combo Priest, or you just don't want to die, have Death Rattles, this card is great. I would definitely keep that. You have Amara, you go to 40 health, it's better than Reno. You can use Seance on that, great card. Chameleos, great flavor, great dust. Reliquary of Swords, not needed for anything, but I guess you can play this in Reno Priest. It just helps, but not needed. Dragon Sword, probably one of the worst, if not the worst weapon ever made. Lazo, can give you value if you like the idea of a copy or Steel Priest, keep that. If you like the idea of having something in your opponent's hand or gain information, you can keep it, but usually you don't need this card for anything. A Mind Flayer, also value, can be alright. You get a minion or you summon a new copy of a minion that your opponent has, not needed. Amet, if you like the idea of Divine Spirit Inner Fire Priest, or you want to play giant minions, maybe you even want to play Starliner with a stupid meme combo. Amet is useful. But because nobody plays Divine Spirit Inner Fire right now, and the only priest deck that exists is Reno Priest, Amet is fairly useless. I would still keep him. Lyra, technically a lot of value. In reality, this was good 4 years ago. Right now it's... okay, 3 years ago. Right now it's more like... you can keep it because it's great value. Also, the artwork is like an 8K and it looks phenomenal if you want to look that up. You don't see it right now. I would still keep it. Raza, obviously keep that, 100%. Vol'jin, disenchanted. Volage, yeah, disenchant him. Lady in White, disenchant that. Zarek, disenchant that. All those 4 cards, they just don't do anything. Archbishop, you like to play for value. You want to play Nazarth, you want to play Steel Priest. Bishop is your friend. But that's only if you like really slow control decks that last like 30-40 minutes in games, so your decision there. Brom Sunday, not too bad actually, because you can play the Spirit thing that shuffles 1-cost copies of your minions into your deck and then you play this. But in reality, who plays that? Next one, Confessor Paltris. You like Dane's idea of an Inspire Priest, you can play Inspire Priest. You don't like the idea because it's bad and random, you can disenchant that. Prophet Velen, great if you play Mind Blast, great if you play Reno Priest and you use Geppetto. Like imagine you play Geppetto, you get this guy, and then every single hero power you have deals 4 damage. Or 8, because you copy him again. Velen, great guy. Also, did you notice his tail? Right there in the artwork. Might be hidden, but he's a Drane? I might even get that part wrong. He's a lizard man. Soul Mirror, great board clear, keep it. Temporis, Dust. You play Big Priest, keep Katrina. You play Talk Waggle Priest, or just like to play for value, Morrison is great. Also keep that guy. Natalie, you play this card if you get it from Zephrys. If you just play this as removal, just play Shadow Ward Death for 2 mana. Princess Talanji, Dust. Anduin, 100% keep this, and Xerax, only if you play Gradient, you would like to play like a bunch of giant Death Rattle minions. Not needed. Rogue, Bazaar, like the card game by Reynard, which is still not out after over a year of delay. The card is a meme. you don't need this. But if you like the idea of Burgle Rogue, you can 100% keep it. But even then you would play the 4-mana weapon that has lifesteal and gets +1 durability, so you don't even need it there. This is really just a meme. Kingsbane, if you like the idea of playing a rogue deck that is hyper-aggressive and plays pirates and hits your opponent in the face over and over, Kingsbane is great, but since the lifesteal part got nerfed so it's not infinite anymore, Kingsbane is, just play Outrogue. Caverns Below, what about Caverns B? No! Damn it, I'm funny. Disenchant that. Hanar, if you like memes, play Hanar. If you don't like memes, disenchant Hanar. Arkama, technically not too bad. Reality, the card is just a 3-4. Edwin, 100% keep that. Even though it doesn't really see play in Wild, it's in Standard, and I guess you still play Standard, or at least a little. If not, you can still play this in Tempo Rogue. I would 100% keep Edwin. Definitely keep Edwin. Definitely keep Disenchant Face Collector. He is so bad. He is horrible. Disenchant that. Shaku. Great meme card also for meme, steal, whatever rogue, Burgle Rogue, but you don't want to play Shaku in reality. This is great card design, which means it's not broken, which means you don't play it. Sonya, no. Lillian, no. Sharazan, no. Xeril, no. Anka, yes. If you play big rogue, you play big Death Rattle Rogue, you want to play your Scrapyard Colossus for 1 mana, you keep Anka. You don't like the idea of playing giant Death Rattle minions for 1 mana, you disenchant Anka. Yeah, to those 3 or those 5 real quick, they are so specific, you just don't see them. Like, I like those cards, they're great flavor, but they just don't see play. If you would have played like 4 years ago, you would have played those cards, but no you don't, they're bad. Draw the no. Mara, no. Also 2 bad cards. Mara's Unstable Element, great card for Odd Rogue and any aggressive / Kingsbane rogue deck, because for 5 mana your hand is full, and then on turn 6 you just go in there. Waxedrat, because it does not have taunt, I would disenchant it. It's a meme. Compare this one to Alar. Do you think Alar is good? Which is a 5 mana 7/3 and then resummon, so it's basically a 5 mana 7/6? No. You think Alar sucks? Why do you think this card is good? Flick, perfect card, keep it. Great. High Sparring Torquebuckle, if you like to play your Galacront rogue deck in Wild as well, keep Torquebuckle. He's just good. Keep High Sparring. He has such a great melody, and he looks so cool in the artwork. Disenchant him. This is dust. Even this is dust. Just gotta say how it is. You summon random pirates, right? You could summon your patches technically. This is not good. Tess, you like to play Burgle Rogue. This is your favorite legendary of all time, besides York. This is so bad. This is so horribly bad. If this one had taunt, it would be still bad. This card is horrible. You spent 9 mana and you have 4 health. Wow. Good job. Valera. That is great. You play Reno Rogue as a meme. You play a control rogue deck. You want to shuffle an Assault. You want to do any combo. Valera is great. Keep her as a Death Knight. But only in slow decks. And no aggressive deck this one sees play. Shaman. Corrupt the Waters. If you like to play like Jade Shaman, Shadowbox Shaman, any card that has a battle cry, you keep Corrupt the Waters. It's a great quest, great reward. Keep it. Unite the Murlocs. Disenchant it. If you want to play Murloc Shaman, don't play the Murloc quest. Just do not play the Murloc quest. You can play it in there, but you just don't need to. Like, if you lose your turn 1 in an aggressive deck, it's like you already give up the board, get value, which you don't need in an aggressive deck. You need to kill your opponent. This just makes no sense. Electra. Technically fine if you play a control Shaman deck, maybe like big Shaman, and then you have like your spells trigger twice, but I would just play Hagath's Scheme, clear the board instead of playing this. This is like, you can keep it for Healing Rain and then here for like 28, but you don't need Electra. Lady Varsh, fairly useless so far. Not even in the one list of Maligor's Shaman that I saw that got to Legend was Lady Varshan, so that's pretty much dust so far. Zantimo. You could play this in Odd Shaman if you want to play Odd Shaman. And you could use this in Hex. It's so bad. Scargill. You might want to keep this if you want to play Unite the Murlocs and then the slow version of Murloc. Even then it's not needed. In most cases you don't win the game by playing Scargill. You win the game by playing your 2/3 Underbelly Angler and then you just get infinite Murlocs. That's a lot better than playing Scargill. He is fine, not needed. You play big things, you play Fist of Raden. In Big Shaman, in Control Shaman, whatever that is, in Maligor Shaman you can play it. Just value. For 4 mana you summon 4 legendaries. Vecina only sees play in Even Shaman, because you summon a bunch of totems, then you copy your board with them. Then you have like 6 totems that you play her, that's plus 12 damage. Great for Even Shaman. Besides that, doesn't see play, unless you play your own version of Overlord Shaman, I guess. That is a meme. Halazil, great flavor, disenchant it. Thrall, disenchant this. Even if you play Evolve Shaman, you would not play Thrall. Like you can put him in there, he's just so bad. If this would be plus 2 or 3 mana, this would be maybe fine, but he's so slow. He's like as slow as Halaziel. And if you have 10 mana and the opponent has a full board and you play Halaziel into Hagatha's scheme, then this card would be technically good. But that doesn't happen. White Eyes, maybe in Big Shaman. It's the original version of a Prime card, because it shuffled something into your deck. You get a 5 mana 10/10 that has Taunt into your deck. Not needed. Grumble. There are actually 2 reasons you can keep this card for. You can play Infinite Shadowbox, which is why I would keep this card guaranteed. And you can play a Elemental Shaman that has an infinite OTK, infinite damage OTK. Great value, maybe if you play Unstable Evolution in Evolve Shaman and then you play Karakwa. Usually though, not needed. Disenchant that. Disenchant that. Even though this one got buffed by +2 mana, you might want to play it in Even Shaman. But even then it's kinda, it's alright. I would play it in Even Shaman. I've seen like 1 or 2 lists that run it, but it's not needed. If you have it, you might want to add it to Even Shaman, but if you don't have it, don't. Craft it. Just don't. Mistcaller. Disenchant that. Stormbringer. Evolve Shaman, Even Shaman card is great. Not 100% needed, just makes your board random. And if your random is good, you win. Like imagine you use this and you get double Alakir. And then you deal like 12 damage and you have Divine Shield, Taunt, all of that. Yeah, you win. Or you get like Chameleos and then you lose. So, random. Decide if you believe in random. This card is so bad, but it looks cool. Disenchant that. Swamp Queen Hagatha. It's so insanely slow, I would disenchant that. I would even say the same is true for Hagatha normally. Disenchant that. Like, even Alakir, even Kalimos. Unless you play like a really specific elemental shaman deck, or you like the idea of making your own control shaman list, then all those cards just don't see play. Like, I encountered any of those cards only if they were summoned randomly. I've not encountered a single person running this card in the deck. Or at least if they ran it, they died before they could play it. Rune Spear. No. Shadowwalk. Yes. Great deck. Shadowwalk Shaman is perfect. You can play this with Jades. You can play this with anything, elementals, whatever. Shadowwalk is so good. Favorite class, a Warlock. Now, I have almost all the Warlock cards on my EU account in Golden, so I think I have a better insight into where those cards actually see play than any of the other classes, considering that I played it the most. Like Kari's Sacrifice, a giant meme, not needed. Bunch of value, but you don't want to play, it's like playing Unite the Murlocs in Shaman if you play Murloc Shaman. If you play aggressive and you play this card Warlock, you don't want to give up your turn 1. Okay, second time I record this part because I just got a package. Look at this, I got a shirt. It's a Wreckful shirt, Meow the Duck. It's finally here. Now I have 2 of them. I have the penguin and now I have the duck. Who cares? So, Supreme Archaeology. If you play something like a really combo-heavy deck, for example, when I played Magician Thermalplug, I played Starliner, Torquaggle, whatever. I play Supreme Archaeology just because I maybe tap into a card that I need. But generally speaking, unless you play your own version of a really complicated combo that is like 1 or 2 Emperor Taurus intakes, you don't need Supreme Archaeology. Even if you play Mechathune, you don't need this card. Can play it if you want to, I would keep it, but you don't need it. Solarium. You like to play Mechathune and be really fast, you like to play this card Warlock, keep Solarium. This and Plot Twist, it's 1 mana, draw 3 cards. That's like your book in Mage, the epic card, Book of Spectres. Book something, but it's a spell. Same for Zavis. If you play discard Warlock, only discard Warlock, you play Zavis because infinite discards, right? That's just value. Kenrithat is great overall. You can play it in Even Warlock, you can play it in Reno, in Cube, in Discard Warlock. Great card. Also, look at the Prime guy. He looks pretty sick. 100% keep Kenrithat. I'm never sure about Jackleg. You can disenchant Jackleg. When I played my own slow version that also ran this quest in Discard Warlock, I played Jackleg, but it's more like, I have the card in Golden, I might as well play it. In reality, you just don't need Jackleg. If you just discard Hand of Godan, you're a lot better off instead of discarding Jackleg. This is really bad. If this one had Rush or Charge, this would be fantastic. If this one had Taunt, would be great. It doesn't. Also, you can discard herself, which means if you buff this to like 6/6, 5 mana 6/6 lifesteal, and then you discard it, then everything you did is gone. Pharaoh Tekken. I gotta be honest here, I played Tekken when I was younger. When I was like, I don't know, 8 or so, I played Tekken. I always used, I think the guy was called Paul, the blonde guy in Tekken. It was great. Takando, he sucks. Skull. Insane value. You drop this card on turn 5 in Cube Warlock, you usually win the game. Dr. Morrigan, disenchant that. Even though it got reduced by 2 mana from 8 to 6 like a year ago, disenchant that. Glinda. You used to play Glinda in exactly 1 deck. In Highkeeper Warlock. You use Summoning Portal, you use something else, and Glinda and other stuff. In short, your Echo cards cost 0 mana. But because they nerfed Echo due to Snip Snap, now your Echo cards can't be reduced below 1 mana. So this card is pretty bad. I saw this card yesterday. Somebody top decked this against me. And then they cleared the entire board. And then I won the game because this card is not good. Rin. Great flavor, disenchant it. Wilfred. Horrible. Rough Farm. really just a meme. You could say you could play this in Zoo, and some people played this in Zoo. If the entire effect is random, that doesn't do much. I crafted him in golden. I think he's fun, but he's not needed. Cho'Gall, useless. Godfrey, best bot clear minion ever made, besides Zephrys. Maybe even better than Zephrys, because he destroys every minion and also has the great benefit of destroying Death Throats or whatever spawns afterwards. Valdris, you like to have 12 card combos, or you want to play Mechathune in a different way, you can keep Valdris. You don't play this in Arena Warlock. Personally though, he just does not see play right now. If there's a different version of Mechathune, or maybe Dorian gets changed or whatever, I would keep him. So Godfrey, Valdris, I would keep both. Betrug, or Betrug in German, he is more like a, you have this on turn 10 into Plot Twist, that's good. You play Skull of Manari into this guy and tap, that's good. You want to play for value? Keep him. You want to play normal Cube Warlock? You don't need to have him. I crafted this in golden on EU. I should disenchant that again. Hyruki is so bad. Zoraku, even though he's great, I would only play him because he's a dragon. Maybe you like Dragon Warlock as an archetype, if that deck actually exists. And because your opponents do not read the card. Your opponents just think, if this minion takes damage, you summon a 6/6. So sometimes you play against an aggressive deck like a Pirate Warrior, they use like 3/1/1s, go face, and then they concede because they didn't read the card. Disenchant him though, he's not good. Fun fact, I opened this card in golden 3 times. The only legendary I opened in golden 3 times. And I disenchanted him twice, because Cruel is just, no. The problem about Cruel is, you need to have him on turn 9, or with like 4 other demons in your hand, and then you also need to play Arena Warlock. And usually you run like 4 or 5 different demons in Arena Warlock, which means you've probably drawn like Voidcaller and Voidlord or so before him, and then he only summons Mal'Ganis. I would keep him, but he's not needed. Jaraxxus is really bad. I would disenchant Lord J, he's just not good. If he would be like 6 mana, yes. If he's 9 mana, no. Mal'Ganis, 100% keep that. Mal'Ganis is the only reason Blood River Gul'dan is insanely broken. Okay, probably not the only reason, but if your Voidlord dies and your Mal'Ganis dies, and then you resummon that because of Gul'dan, keep those 2 cards. Like, this is so much value. This is, if you just drop Gul'dan, you probably win against almost every aggressive deck. Secret Mage, doesn't matter. Pirate Mage, they're gone. Warrior. If you like the idea of playing Taunt Warrior, then you can play Fireplume's Heart. It's really good in there. But only if you really want to play Taunt Minions and Warrior, which is a decent deck, but it's very specific again. This card is horrible. This card is horrible. This card is fantastic. This is so good, which is why it got nerfed. You play Corsair Catch, draw this card on turn 2, then it's a 3/3 that you can equip on turn 3, you buff this multiple times. This is the only weapon you need in Pirate Warrior. This is so good. This card is better than I thought initially, but it's also really bad. You could play Deadman's Hand Warrior, maybe have like this card in there. Same with Kargat. If you play a slower Warrior deck that you, I guess, have to build for yourself because those archetypes don't really exist, or you play Deadman's Hand, those 2 cards are great. It's hard to say. I would probably disenchant Bulwark and keep Kargat if I had to make a decision, because Kargat is just great, but you don't see him in any deck, because if you face a Warrior, they play Galakrond, they play Bombs, they play Pirates, they don't play Kargat. He's a little bit too slow, but if you like mid-range stuff, if you like Deadman's Hand, he's good. Almost a Voonie. I tried to play Dragon Warrior, because it sounds cool. It was bad. Darius, also bad. Like, look at the stats. This is a 4/4, this is a 4/4. This one gives you that guy, this one gets +2/+2 and costs +1 mana. Darius sucks. Darius should be disenchanted. Armageddillo, you like the idea of Taunt Warrior, in which you play Fireplume's Heart, you play Armageddillo. Iron Juggernaut, no, just play Bombs normally. But you can play it in there. This has exactly 1 OTK. If you play something that copies this and then you use something like Bouncing Blade, which we did. It's horrible. This is not too bad if you play Bomb Warrior, but it's more like an addition to the deck, not needed. If you play Odd Warrior, you can play Dr. Boom. I would keep him. Makarok, horrible. Akali, horrible. Deathwing, actually good. Play this in Deadman's Hand or a big version of Warrior. This is terrible. This one is fine because of Bomb Warrior and Inner Rage, but I didn't encounter this card in Wild. This is horrible, and this card is so bad. The weapon in Golden looks fantastic. If you have this guy in Golden, please keep him, just because he looks cool. But he's so bad. Even if you play Patron Warrior, I don't think I would play this. He looks so good in Golden. I have to show you that, okay? Alright, I don't have enough dust. Never mind. Vow Cleaver. You like Recruit, Big, Even Warrior? Play this. You don't like that because the deck is bad? Disenchant that. King Mosh. Just, no. Unless you play Whirlwind into this, the card has no effect, and you can just play Plague of Wrath. Plague of... the 5-mana Plague that has the same effect. Boomship. If you play Malygos... no, wait. Mechathune with Malygos, which was a standard deck for like a month last year, you can play Boomship. Disenchant that. Boom Reaver. You play big minions. Recruit Warrior. Keep it. You don't, which is very likely. Disenchant that. Lastly, Variant for class cards. Again, you play Big Warrior, keep it, you don't, disenchant that. Now to neutral cards, in which they either have a great purpose or they are fairly useless. Patches, probably one of the, if not the best legendary ever made. It's a free minion out of your deck. 100% craft that if you don't have it, if you play aggressive. Zarus, complete garbage. Finley, great card for aggressive decks like Pirate Warrior, maybe even a token Druid, because your hero power is usually not Hunter or Warlock, which means this guy is pretty good. Thanos, definitely keep that, great with the file in any Warlock deck. You want to draw cards, you want to play Rogue, Thanos is great. Meme, and meme. You see the cards yourself? You know they're bad. Prince Keleseth, technically fine if you play something like an Egg Hunter or you play like Heal Zoo, but the last time I encountered that was like a year ago. I don't see Keleseth in any deck right now. I think his time is over. You could probably disenchant him. And you can definitely disenchant Zeli. Zeli is terrible. Zephyrus, he's playing pretty much every single Reno deck. 100% keep that. Auction Master Beater. As mentioned during Paladin, if you play OTK Paladin and you want to play a Death Knight and summon the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, you need to have Beardo. Because you play Beardo, you use a coin, you use your hero power again. Beardo is great for that specific purpose. Nothing outside of OTK Paladin. Great value for any slow or control deck or Reno deck. Keep him. Disenchant this. If you want to have this card, play Zephyrus first. Edis. Well, I crafted this card in golden for myself because I think it looks pretty cool and I like the flavor. The card is not good. I think there was one guy in yesterday's video who argued that, but you can play this card in Libram Paladin, then it's good. The fuck? No, because you can use a spell on that, then you can play this in Druid as well because you have buff spells. She is fine. She's just not needed for anything, as well as Fiola. They have their advantage if you buff them, but usually you play a minion and nothing happens. I would keep them for the flavor, but in reality they're not good. Mukla, on the other hand, is bad. Morose is terrible. Prince Tardaram. If you play Cube Warlock, even then you don't play that, but you play Dark Skies instead. Right now Tardaram can be fine for Cube, but you don't need him. Sergeant Sally. Dust. Snip Snap. He is good. Who would have guessed that? You can't even disenchant him if you have the golden one. In case you didn't get this card for free and you just have it normally, keep that. You only play the Mag Hand buff Paladin, I think, at the moment, but that deck is fantastic, so you should keep him. Terran, you can play the Greatest Dynamancer, you can play Cube Warlock, and you can also play Egg Hunter. Even Egg Rogue, I heard. Terran is just great value. Right now, because he's fairly new, I would keep him. Tinkmaster, I like this card so much because it's such a meme. Like, not needed for any deck ever. Zola, you play any Reno deck, you do play Zola. Also, it's his play in Shadowbox Shaman or Battlecry Shaman. Vargoth, insanely broken, keep it. Arthas, insanely underpowered, disenchant that. Baron Rivendare. I was debating about this card. If you play Death Rattle Hunter, you can just play Necro Mechanic, which is the same card but has +2 attack, right? And you can play it twice. Rivendare is only useful for maybe Rogue, maybe Warlock. He is so slow though. This one is on you if you want to play it, but I wouldn't. Elise, so insanely slow right now. Was good like 4.5 years ago. Right now it's terrible. Friss, even when I play Maligos Warlock, this card is not needed. Just play Emperor instead. Maybe you play Embiggen Big Druid with a bunch of dragons, then Friss is kinda useful. If you like dragons, skip the card. If you don't like dragons, disenchant that. Genso, technically good, but that was 5 years ago. Disenchant that. Gormok, technically good in Zoo. Technically, disenchant that. Drifter, this guy, Celestia, disenchant that. They're all just not good. Like, you see the effect, they have theoretically a great specific effect that never helps you. Kazakus, you play Mage, Priest, or Warlock in Arena. Wonderful card, keep him. Magtherodon, your giant meme, that's why I crafted him in golden on EU. I love him, he's terrible. Maeve, not needed for anything ever. Old Murkai, you want to play Murloc Shaman or Murloc Paladin? You need Old Murkai, kinda. I would keep him if you like the Murlocs, if you want to play Shaman or Paladin. Prince Valana, terrible. Sky General crack. It's alright if you have a quest. Safai only would play him in, I think, Shadowbox Shaman, because he does help you. If you play quest, he's good. Also, if you play Fireplume's Heart and Taunt Warrior, I would keep him. Umbra, he is great for the Greatest Dynamancer, and insanely greedy for Cube Warlock, maybe even an Arena Warlock. You like value? Keep Umbra. You don't like value? You don't need Umbra for anything. The Darkness, disenchant that. Vorax, Dust. Whispering, also Dust. He's the reason for Whispering. Why they still update the deck list, this card is just, it gives you a standard deck, and the standard deck in Wild is usually bad. Alar looks fantastic in Golden. I love it so much, it's Dust. Barista, great for Mage, great for Shaman, maybe even Warlock. If you like value, again, you keep Barista. Barnes, I don't think Barnesies play anywhere anymore. I used to say play in Big Shaman, in Big Priest, but right now it's like a 5-mana 3/4, you can play other stuff, not needed anymore. Blinktron, nope. Greenskin, yes, if you play Pirate Warrior or Rogue. Dorian, if you play Mechathon Warlock or just you like Plot Twist and Batrook, keep him. Elise, not needed. ETC, best animation, not needed. Hugin, Finger, Hammett, Harrison, Mimrant, Nexus, all those 6 cards, no. Nobody plays any of those cards in their main deck. Even if you play a Warlock deck, you don't play Finger. Leroy, obviously you play an aggressive deck, you play Leroy, standard, that's why he is Hall of Famed. Lothar, fantastic card overall, you probably play this in most decks, just as a 5-drop. Also if you play against any combo deck, they can't combo. Prince Marquezar, Giant Meme, Stellac, Giant Meme, Subject 9. You want to play Secret Hunter or you want to play Reno Hunter, Subject 9 is really helpful. I would keep it if you play Hunter. Zeliax, one of the best legendaries of all, keep him. Does not see playing Jade Druid because you just have Jade Idol, that's a lot faster than playing actual Jade minions. But for Shaman and for Rogue, this card is fantastic. You should keep it. You should disenchant this one and this one. Kayn and both are just too slow. And both just dies. It hits you for 9, for 6 mana. Emperor Taurusson, fantastic card, reduces your entire hand, makes combos available. Keep that guy. Even if Gaza would be 4 mana, you wouldn't play him. Gelbin, terrible. Gen, fantastic for even decks, obviously. Hammett, you play Mechathon, you play Hammett. That's his only use. Hogger is pretty useful. Justica is so slow. Might just be Justica, but it's so slow. Maybe if you play Deadman's Hand Warrior, because then you can upgrade your hero power. Kronks, you play Galakrond, you play Kronks, obviously. But that's if you play Galakrond. In the wild, you don't play Galakrond. Madame Goya, terrible. Maxna, terrible. Moga, terrible. Zihi. Zihi is debatable. If you play even Warlock, or even Shaman and you encounter Mechathon a lot and you lose to that, which is very specific and very unlikely, you can play Zihi. Great design, great effect, but I don't see this card ever being played. Still alright. You can keep it definitely. This card was always dust. Do not bogart the bananas. Reno, 100% keep that. Sylvanas. Like, unless you play Big Hunter, Death Rattle Hunter, and you want to play that on Sylvanas on 9 lives, Sylvanas has no real use. Like, it was alright for the past, like from 2014 to 2017-18 was alright to play Sylvanas, because when you dropped her, you didn't just die the next turn, but right now if you play Sylvanas, not much happens. I will probably still keep her because it's Sylvanas, and we all know her, but I don't encounter this card often. And if I do, it doesn't do much. Maybe the time of Sylvanas is over. The Beast, Garbo. Black Knight, Garbo. Skeleton Knight, horrible. Toshli, also bad. Rathion, horrible. Xavius, Illidan, also bad. Azalina, if you play Talkwaggle Druid, Talkwaggle anything you play Azalina. But I think that's the only use, only if you play Talkwaggle. Baron Geddon, if you play big Spell Mage or you have Frostlit Jaina up, Geddon is great. Besides that, sees no play. Chef Nomi, if you want to play, I guess, Warlock or Priest and draw your entire deck, or just play Hammett on 6 and Nomi on 7, maybe, he's fine. But then again, nobody plays Nomi. Chillmaw, technically good if you play big Dragon Druid or Hydronox Druid, but nobody plays Chillmaw. Countess Ashmore, crafted this in Golden when it came out, never used it, disenchanted that. Done and show, disenchanted that. A Dr. Boom, Inquisitor, this thingy, Rand Blackhand, Schumer, all those 7 cards, they don't see any play in Wild. Technically, you can keep Dr. Boom because he's fine. You can keep Schumer if you want to play like Hunter and the quests, or maybe even Token Druid, and then flood the entire board. But the other cards are just so bad. Like, what is this? This is KT, Kel'Thuzad, but worse. This is horrible. This is worse than Natalie for Priest. Keltis, fantastic card. You can't disenchant them. Siamat. Like, if you're missing cards for control deck or for a Reno deck, you can always play Siamat. You can always play Sia, however he's pronounced Matt. Sky Captain Crack, tried to play him in Pirate Warrior. He was bad. Corcoran Elite is better. This is kinda Curator. It curates the cards you can draw. It's targeted draw, technically good. I would still keep it because I like the flavor. It's a great effect. This is a well-designed card, but in reality, nobody plays this. Same with Troxer, nobody plays that. Nobody plays Cthulhu, so Twin Emperor is kinda useless. Crafted this card in Golden as well as Cthulhu because I like the old flavor. I like to get those nostalgia games every now and then. But he's pretty bad. This is definitely dust. This is great if you play Prelate Paladin or if you play like your Shadowwalk meme combo. But Undertaker is so slow. Paw Reaper, pretty bad. Gruul, you craft this card in Golden and never let go of him. Geppetto. He is fantastic if you play any combo. You play a Druid deck that needs Eviana Kun or any other combo piece, maybe even Malygos. Geppetto is fantastic. You keep him. KT can see play in big decks, maybe in a big Shaman, big Warlock, big Priest, whatever big deck. KT is great. Talkwaggle, obviously play Talkwaggle Druid or Priest. Take your opponent's deck. You just yoink it, you have fun. He is great. But besides, you keep your opponent's deck and use Azalina, then that's pretty useless. He is so slow now. He was great a few years ago, but he's so slow now. I would disenchant him. Sorry. I've seen once an even Shaman list that run him to draw cards. I wouldn't. Disenchant that. Ragnaros. Oh, that won't make you happy. But Ragnaros is usually one of those cards, like Sylvanas, where you feel like, damn, it's one of the classic legendaries. I want to play this card. Nobody plays Ragnaros. If you play a big deck, you can play Ragnaros because he's fine. But outside of big decks again, Rag sees no play. He used to be a staple card in just most decks, in most mid-range decks or control decks. Now Rag is just, you play a big deck, you might play him. But he can play so many cards that are better. Sneeds, I love him so much. He's just a great meme card. You probably don't want to play memes to disenchant him. Boogie Monster, horrible. Lich King, keep him. Also for big decks, you can play in an even decks, and then he's actually good. Lich King is great value, and the random card you get can win you the game. I would keep normal Alex, because if you play any combo deck, or you play a Malygos deck, maybe you play Reno and Pocket Galaxy and Mage, then Alex is fantastic. Archivist Elysiana, if you play a really control-heavy Mage deck, or you play Odd Warrior, you can use this if you're in Fatigue. But besides those two specific decks, this card sees no play. This is horrible. The 3 spells you get are terrible, or the 3 artifacts. For the mana cost, it's just not good. Baku, 100% keep that. Dragon Queen, same thing. Keep that definitely. Ice Howl is so bad, you should 100% disenchant that. Same with Majordomo. Now, to say it real quick, Majordomo as well as Octosari have multiple ways to OTK your opponent, but I assume if you wanted to play a Octosari or a Majordomo OTK, you would have done that by now. Malygos, keep that, obviously. It's Malygos. But then you need to play an OTK, or Malygos has no purpose, right? You play OTK Warlock, Druid, Rogue, maybe even Shaman. Malygos is fantastic. But if you don't play OTKs, then Malygos has no purpose. Master Okard. If you want to play Hadronox and Druid, you can play Master Okard. And then you also summon a Dragon Hatcher, I think he's called. The 9 mana 2/4 that gives you a dragon. Okard is fine for specifically Hadronox. Norgenfogger, that's a meme. Magdalena Thermoplug, you will see a video on that soonish, how we use him in an OTK. He is terrible. Nefarian, too slow. Nosdomo, too slow. Nixia, too slow. Undasta though, Undasta. Remember when we talked about a big or Death Rattle Hunter? You can use Undasta in there. You want to play Druid and use Barnabas because you kept Jungle Giants as a quest? Keep Undasta. That's it. It's dust usually. This is horrible. Disenchant that. Sathura you can't disenchant anyways. Sorgoth, he's terrible. This should be a 6 mana card or 7 mana. Ysera, I would say it's too slow. But if you're missing certain big minions for other big decks, I say big a lot, you can play Ysera instead. Not needed. Colossus would be one of the big minions you play in those big decks. Kithun, can't disenchant that anyways. Deathwing, nobody plays Deathwing. Deathwing Dragonlord, nobody plays Deathwing Dragonlord. But if you like dragons, keep those too. Hakari, you can play this in Big Priest to counter, I guess, Reno decks as well as Jade Druid. And you can play your own meme Hakar combos. But he's pretty bad. King Phaeorus, if you want to play a Druid and have exactly one board once and then you concede, or you want to play Dark Portal in Warlock and play this guy on turn 5 and then concede, you can keep Phaeorus. Megathon, you want to win? Keep him. N'Zoth, so much value. He's basically, I would say he's as good as Godan. 100% keep N'Zoth. Then we have York, you like memes, you play York. And you have Yasharash if you play any big deck. And with that being said, time. I record this for 1 hour and 9 minutes now. Let's see how long the video is going to be. So now that we are done talking about every card in detail, I will sum everything up. You can have a general overview on which cards I would keep. So we will jump into another scene, and then you can see all the cards per class I would keep. Alright, then we are at the part where we talk about all the cards and legendaries you should keep. Basically a rundown through the entire past 50 minutes or so. If you don't see a card that you think belongs on this list in here, then it's usually because it's only usable in a niche deck. Like let's say, for Druid we have Hadronox right in here, which makes sense if you play Hadronox Druid. For other classes every now and then I will leave a card out, because the card just really makes no sense to play in most cases outside of one specific deck. So if there's one card missing, in the last 50 minutes I probably told you why. For Druid we have Evander Kun to do our combos, Floop to have a second N'Zoth and to have value, as well as with Elise, maybe an Reno Druid. Ysera is great for Jades, and Hadronox is fantastic if you play Hadronox. In Hunter we got 10 legendaries, Zul'jin for value, usually in even or slow decks. Rhaenys, Raxa, same reason. Dino Tamer, you play Reno, you wanna play your stuff. Kithrina, Lerox, and King Crush is only there for Death Rattle Hunters, so a slow deck if you want to play it like that. Dragonbane, Shaw, and Zigzor, great cards overall, usually in even or Egg Hunter. You can play aggressive, you can do your combos, that's all you need for Hunter. In Mage, very similar, you play Caligos for value and slow decks. Open the Wagon is broken as well as Evocation, those two go together. Solarian is just great value, usually in slow or Reno decks. Luna sees play with Pocket Galaxy together in Reno. Same reason for Malygos and Reno the Relicologist. Then we have Aloneth for Secret Mage to play aggressive, because that's the only legendary you need in there. And you have Jaina as well as Reno for value, while Reno, the amazing Reno, being a lot better than Jaina at the moment. Paladin, you only have 8. You probably have a few more, for example, you don't see the Death Knight, but as mentioned in the beginning, there are reasons. Shavala, great card of all. You play Slowak, you play Shavala. You want to play Reno, play Sir Finlay. You want to play Murlocs, play Sir Murgurgle. Linessa and Liadrin, just for pure Paladin lists or just Libram lists. Tarim is a great card of all. Thekkel is fantastic, and Kango's just a great guy to heal. For Priest, we have obviously Raza and Anduin for the best possible deck, Reno Priest, Soul Mirror for removal, Katrina for Big Priest, Mirror's if you play Torquevagle. Reliquary of Swords is not needed, but I think the card is fairly good. Awaken the Makers, same reason, you want to heal, play Amara. Lastly, Prophet Velen, Mind Blast, as well as just Reno Priest, you can put them in there. In Rogue, you want to draw your entire deck and play aggressive, you have Kingspin and Maris. You want to play Burgle stuff, Tess is fantastic. Anchor for Big Rogue, High Sparrow, because Galakrond is still good even though it's wild. Blake, perfect removal. Velira for value, and Edwin because he's Edwin. In Shaman, we only got 7, Shadowwalk and Grumble to go infinite, Vesina, Stormbringer, and the Lurker below to play even Shaman, because those cards are fairly good in there. The Fist of Raden for Big Shaman, and Corrupt the Waters for the reason of Shadowwalk / you play Jades, bunch of better cries, great quest. In Warlock, we got 8 with Godan and Mal'Ganis, making the main point for slow decks. Skull, same reason, you play Q-Block, you play any big demon, you gotta play it there. You want to play a combo deck, you have Supreme Archaeology. You want to have value, or just play Discard Warlock and play really fast, drop all your 1 mana cost demons, play Kenrithad, fantastic prime. Solarium as well as Clutch Mother Zavis, because Discard Warlock is, I think, tier 1 at the moment. Godfrey is perfect removal in Solarium. And yeah, all the other Warlock cards are kinda not necessary. Warrior. You want to play Taunt Warrior, keep Armageddillo and Fireplume's Heart. You play Odd Warrior, you have Dr. Boom. You just like having charge, you play Gromish, even though it's more like a standard card. Ankar is perfect for Pirate Warrior. Deathwing Mad Aspect is a perfect removal, maybe you want to play Deadman Sand Warrior, and Kargath is just great value. Which then brings us to a bunch of neutral cards. Makathon to play Warlock and have an OTK on turn 7 or 8. Nazoth is insane value. York for the memes, Yasharaj in any big deck, Alexstrasza in Pocket Galaxy Mage, Baku and Gen are obvious for even at odd decks. We have Dragon Queen Alex in any Highlander deck, Malygos for OTKs, Undasta in big / Death Rattle Hunter or Druid. Geppetto for any combo deck, also great in Priest. KT, again for big decks. Then we have Azalina as well as King Torquevagle for Torquevagle decks in Druid or maybe even Priest. Lich King and Ragnaros, as well as Siamat Kenzie play in big decks or just in... You need a big card in the deck, you drop them. Emperor for any combo. Curator because you can draw specific cards. Hammett for Makathon Warlock. Reno because he's Reno. And Colossus because he's a big beefy boy. For the 6 mana and lower cost legendaries, we got Barista for great value in Reno decks, as well as Jade Shaman. We have Dormaster Dorian again for Makathon, Leroy in any aggressive deck, as well as Lothab to just go in. Lothab can see play in any deck actually, he's just a staple. Subject 9 for any Hunter deck, because you like to draw your secrets. Ziliax, perfect version of a legendary, can fit in anything. Vargath is insane value. Frizz if you like dragons. Kazakus for Priest, Warlock as well as Mage. So you get your potions. Old Murkai, you play Murlocs, gotta have a charge guy. Spirit Singer Umbra is more like for value in Q-Block as well as Death Rattle Hunter. Auction Master better only if you want to play OTK Paladin. This might not even make the list, but it's in there. Taldarim for cubes, Bran for great value overall in pretty much any deck ever. Snipstep because Mag Hand buff Paladin and Max in general are fairly broken. Terran to play Axe and because it can destroy your stuff and resummon it. Thanos is a staple among a lot of control decks. Zephyrus is Zephyrus, Patches is Patches, there's no explanation needed, and Sylvanas is still good, even if you just steal a random minion from your opponent. So this was the quick version of the past 50 minutes or so. Again, if there's a card that I did not mention, it's explained in that longer video, meaning in the past 50 minutes. My name is Solem, this video is like an hour long. I hope if you had a question for a specific card, it was answered. If you watched until now, maybe you want to like the video? I mean, it's free. Also, let me know one thing. I know that, for example, for TFT, when it got released and you had all those items, Skara made an item guide. So for like a picture or a resource you just looked at, and then you see, this item is good in mid-game, this is good in late-game, all of that. Should I just make it out of what we just had? I could just link you to that, and then you can always see for a specific class which cards are good and in which deck. Because I would create that in Photoshop, put in more effort than whatever this is. Just let me know if you would like to have a picture, because the pictures might be a lot easier and faster to access than watching until a specific point in a video, right? Anyways, my name is Solem, streaming on twitch.tv/Solem, and we want to stop by, probably live right now, or later. We will see. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, let me know, and take care.